Alright, let's get straight to it. Here are 6 so-called superfoods that the world worshipped for years. But spoiler alert, turns out most of that hype is just really good marketing. Number 6. Orange juice, the breakfast legend that lied to us. Alright, let's talk about orange juice, the one drink that somehow became the global symbol of health. Like seriously, when was the last time you saw a sick person in a movie not drinking orange juice? It's always the same scene. Someone in bed with a cold, tissues everywhere, and a perfectly chilled glass of OJ magically appears like it's the cure for everything. We all grew up thinking, orange juice, mump vitamin C, one's health. But plot twist, that's literally a marketing fairy tale. Let's go back in time to the early 1900s in California. Picture this, farmers are drowning in oranges. The trees are thriving, the crops are massive, but nobody's buying. Because back then, oranges were just fruit. People ate them occasionally. Nobody was juicing them. And then came this marketing genius named Albert Lasker, the guy who basically invented modern advertising. He looked at all those unsold oranges and said, "You know what? I can sell this problem." So he teamed up with the California Fruit Growers Exchange, which later became Sunkist. And they came up with this wild idea. Instead of selling the fruit, sell the juice. Lasker didn't stop there. He launched an entire campaign saying orange juice was nature's perfect breakfast. He even sponsored scientific reports that claimed orange juice prevents colds, boosts immunity, fights fatigue, you name it. It wasn't science, it was sales. Within a few years, Americans were drinking OJ like it was medicine. Sales shot up 400%. And suddenly, the phrase, "a glass of orange juice every morning," became gospel truth. Not because of nutrition, but because of marketing copy from 1916. But here's where the reality check kicks in. Orange juice does have vitamin C, about 50 milligrams per 100 grams. But you know what has 4 times that? Guava. Even broccoli, strawberries, and bell peppers have more. Yet, no one's out here marketing bell pepper juice on breakfast TV, right? And that's not even the worst part. When you drink OJ, you're not just getting vitamins, you're also getting a ton of sugar. Like, 1 cup of orange juice can have the same amount of sugar as a can of Coke. Sure, it's natural sugar, but your body doesn't really care. Sugar is sugar. And because it's juice, not fruit, you lose all the fiber that helps slow down sugar absorption. So instead of giving you a slow energy boost, it spikes your blood sugar and leaves you crashing an hour later, usually right when your boss schedules the morning meeting. Now, don't get me wrong, orange juice isn't evil. It's refreshing, it's nostalgic, and it does provide some vitamin C, but it's not a miracle drink. It's basically fruit candy in liquid form. The marketing team just gave it a halo and called it breakfast. So next time someone tells you they're being healthy because they drink orange juice every morning, just smile and say, "Ah yes, the original influencer drink, sponsored by 1910. Because honestly, a plain glass of water and a real orange will probably do you way more good. Number 5. Coconut oil, the flirty neighbor with too many red flags. Alright, coconut oil, the internet's favorite golden child, the one oil to rule them all. For years, this stuff was everywhere. People were cooking with it, putting it on their hair, brushing their teeth with it, and of course, blending it into their morning coffee because some influencer said it melts fat. Yeah, sure, Jan, but before we burn our kale chips in it, let's rewind a bit. The coconut oil craze didn't actually start in Asia, even though coconuts literally grow there. It started in the West, when wellness culture went on a quest to find ancient tropical miracles. You know the vibe. Everything's natural, pure, and tribal wisdom, this sacred ingredient that. At first, coconut oil was just a cheap cooking oil, used for frying, baking, and in like 90% of old-school movie popcorn. But then came the wellness rebrand TM. Suddenly, it wasn't just oil, it was a lifestyle. Coconut oil became the queen bee of the clean-eating world. Everyone was like, it boosts metabolism, it fights bacteria, it makes your hair shiny, it can even replace your boyfriend. And okay, yes, it can do some cool things. It's got lauric acid, which your body turns into monolaurin, a compound that helps fight bacteria and viruses. It's also an excellent moisturizer. But here's the twist, it's also 82 to 90% saturated fat. That's right, the thing the wellness world calls super healthy actually contains more saturated fat than butter. butter's around 60%, lard around 40%, coconut oil straight up 90%. Even bacon's looking at that number like, girl, that's excessive. And what do saturated fats do? They raise your LDL cholesterol. That's the bad one, the one that clogs arteries, increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, and all those things your future self will definitely not thank you for. In fact, researchers at Harvard School of Public Health analyzed 16 clinical trials and found that coconut oil raises both good and bad cholesterol. But the bad one rises way more. So when people say, but it raises HDL, the good kind, yeah, but it's like saying, I crashed my car, but at least the headlights still work. That's why the American Heart Association officially recommends against using coconut oil as your main cooking fat. They actually said it might raise LDL cholesterol even more than butter or beef fat. Imagine that. Coconut oil out-unhealthying butter. But here's the part that makes the story even juicier. The reason people think it's good for you is because of medium-chain triglycerides, or MCTs, a type of fat that's easier to digest and gets burned for energy faster than regular fats. Problem is, store-bought coconut oil is not pure MCT. Only about 10 to 15% of it is MCTs. So when you see people online drinking bulletproof coffee with coconut oil and claiming it burns fat, they're kind of just adding butter-flavored calories to their caffeine. Now, don't get me wrong, coconut oil isn't the villain. It's more like that fun, flirty neighbor next door. She's cute, smells amazing, makes everything feel tropical, but she's also full of drama. You can hang out sometimes, sure, just don't sign a long-term lease. So use coconut oil if you love the flavor, or if you want soft skin, or to feel like you're on vacation in Maui for 5 minutes. But don't dump olive oil for it, okay? Because the heart doctors are all sitting in a corner shaking their heads like, sweetie, please go back to your extra virgin. In short, coconut oil's got personality, not perfection. Treat it like a fling, not a forever thing. So number 4, kale, the overachiever who needs to chill. All right, it's time to talk about kale, the green that launched 1,000 smoothies, the Beyoncé of vegetables, the if you don't eat me, you don't care about your health kind of energy. Kale used to just sit quietly in the produce aisle, chill, leafy, minding its own business. Then suddenly, in the 2010s, the wellness world was like, this is it, the ultimate superfood. From juice bars to yoga retreats to overpriced salads at Whole Foods, kale became the main character. It wasn't just food, it was a lifestyle. If your Instagram didn't have a kale smoothie in it, were you even living clean, bro? But okay, before the kale cult comes for me, I'm not saying kale is bad, I'm saying it's overhyped. Like that one friend who gets an A on one test and won't shut up about it for the rest of the semester. Here's the truth. Kale is healthy, no question. It's packed with vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin K, fiber, antioxidants, all that good stuff. It's legit good for you. But you know what? So are a lot of other vegetables. Spinach, mustard greens, broccoli, collard greens. They're all right there, quietly being heroes without the PR team. Let's compare. Kale's got vitamin K? Sure. But spinach has more folate, more iron, and it's way easier on your stomach. Broccoli? Full of vitamin C, fiber, and something called sulforaphane, which can actually help protect your cells from damage. And honestly, kale isn't even that fun to eat. Like, who bit into raw kale and thought, tastes like health and regret? That's why we have to massage it in olive oil before eating it, because otherwise, it's like chewing a piece of yoga mat. Then there's the whole detox narrative. You've heard it. Drink a kale smoothie to flush out toxins. Well, plot twist. Your body already has a full-time detox team. Meet your liver and kidneys. They've been doing this job since birth. No smoothie required. There's zero solid scientific evidence that kale, or any food really, detoxes your body. That's literally what your organs are for. If you actually had toxins building up in your body, you wouldn't need a smoothie. You'd need an ER visit. And look, eating a ton of kale can actually backfire. Because kale belongs to the cabbage family, it contains compounds called goitrogens, which, if eaten raw in huge amounts, can mess with your thyroid. So yeah, the queen of greens can also be the drama queen of digestion. Plus, kale's got so much fiber that if you overdo it, your stomach's gonna start producing its own background soundtrack. Like, congratulations! You've basically turned yourself into a wind instrument. Now, I'm not saying toss your kale in the trash. Kale's good, it's nutritious, but the whole, if you don't eat kale, you're gonna die young vibe? Nah. You don't need to live on kale smoothies to be healthy. You don't need to spend $12 on a detox juice that tastes like wet lawn. You can eat other greens, even the humble spinach or the underrated bok choy, and still be thriving. So yeah, Kale's cool. She's smart, successful, probably drives a Tesla, but she's not the only girl in town. The real flex? Eating a variety of veggies, not obsessing over one like it's a personality trait. So here's the takeaway. Kale's great, but chill. You don't have to worship it. Balance is still the most underrated superfood of all. 3. Almond milk, the fancy water scam. All right, let's talk about almond milk. You know, the drink that made everyone feel like they were saving both their body and the planet. You know that smug moment when you order your latte and say, "Yeah, can I get that with almond milk?" You feel like you just did something good for humanity, right? Well, plot twist. You didn't. Don't get me wrong. I love a good almond milk latte. It's light, it's nutty, it's aesthetic. But the truth is, almond milk is basically water with branding. Let me explain. Most commercial almond milk, the kind you buy in cartons, contains about 2% almonds. 2%. The rest is mostly water, gums, thickeners, flavoring, and a sprinkle of added vitamins so they can print fortified with calcium on the box and charge $5.99. So, when you're sipping almond milk, you're not exactly drinking liquid almonds. While you're drinking almond-flavored water with a great marketing team, and nutritionally, it's kinda sad. A cup of cow's milk gives you around 8 grams of protein. A cup of almond milk? 1 single gram. That's like a protein molecule and a prayer. So, unless you're allergic to dairy or lactose intolerant, you're paying extra for less nutrition and a nice carton design. Now, let's talk about the big myth, the eco-friendly halo. Because almond milk has been branded as the sustainable choice, right? Save the cows, drink almonds? Well, not so fast. Almond farming is a massive water hog. According to California's Department of Water Resources, it takes about 1 gallon of water to grow a single almond. 1 almond. And since most of the world's almonds come from California, which, by the way, is constantly in drought, that's a bit of a problem. To produce 1 pound of almonds, you need roughly 16,000 liters of water. That's the same amount of water you'd use if you took a daily shower for 2 years. So yeah, while you're out here thinking you're saving the planet with your eco-chic almond latte, the planet's kind of looking at you like, cool, you saved a cow, but you murdered a river. And here's the part no one tells you, the bees are suffering too. Because almond trees need to be pollinated, and during bloom season, California imports billions of honeybees just to make it happen. But due to pesticide exposure and stress from transport, huge numbers of them die every year. So almond milk is basically bee juice with guilt on top. Now don't get me wrong, if you're vegan, lactose intolerant, or just don't like cow's milk, that's fine. Drink your almond milk in peace. But don't fall for the "I'm saving the world one latte at a time" narrative. Because the reality is, you're drinking expensive nut-flavored water that probably cost a small lake to make. If you want a more sustainable alternative, try oat milk or soy milk. Oats use way less water, and soy has more protein than almond milk ever dreamed of. Plus, they both make your coffee creamy without that weird nut dust aftertaste. So yeah, almond milk looks good in your fridge and makes your iced latte look classy on Instagram. But if you strip away the marketing, it's basically overpriced hydration with a moral superiority complex. Drink it if you like it. Just don't pretend it's saving the planet. Because at the end of the day, you're not drinking a miracle. You're drinking 98% filtered water. And a vibe. Number 2, matcha. From zen to sugar bomb. All right, matcha lovers, I'm coming for you next. Matcha used to be the most peaceful, meditative thing on earth. Imagine it. Japan, centuries ago, monks sitting on tatami mats, slow movements, calm breathing, whisking bright green powder into perfect harmony. It was art, it was mindfulness, it was literally zen in a cup. And then the West discovered it, and oh boy, now matcha is everywhere. Matcha lattes, matcha donuts, matcha protein bars, matcha skincare, matcha toothpaste, matcha everything. It went from spiritual ritual to Starbucks syrup flavor in record time. You can literally walk into a cafe, order a 24-ounce matcha caramel vanilla cold foam latte with soy whip and oat milk drizzle, and convince yourself you're being healthy. Like, babe, that's not a green tea. That's a dessert with anxiety. Let's set the record straight. Pure matcha is genuinely good for you. It's made from whole, shade-grown green tea leaves that are stone ground into powder, so you actually consume the entire leaf, not just the brewed part like regular tea. That means more antioxidants, specifically catechins and the superstar among them, EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate. EGCG is an antioxidant beast. It helps fight free radicals, protects your cells, and may even lower the risk of chronic diseases. Matcha also has caffeine, enough to wake you up, but paired with L-theanine, an amino acid that calms your brain. That's why matcha gives you that rare combo, focused but chill. It's like drinking caffeine that went to therapy. So yeah, in its natural form, matcha is kind of amazing. But then, capitalism showed up with a blender. See, pure matcha is bitter. It's earthy. It doesn't naturally taste like vanilla ice cream. So to make it Instagrammable and palatable for the masses, coffee chains started loading it up with sugar, syrups, and milk foam. Now, that healthy matcha latte you get at your favorite cafe can have 25 to 35 grams of sugar in a single cup. That's the same as a can of Coke. So yeah, you're technically getting your antioxidants, but they're swimming in a pool of liquid candy. And because matcha has caffeine, your body absorbs that sugar faster, so your calm focus turns into hyperbuzz real quick. You're like, wow, I feel so productive. And then 40 minutes later, crash. And don't even get me started on bottled or instant matcha mixes. Half of them have more fillers, sugar, and powdered milk than actual matcha. Some brands even use low-grade green tea powder dyed bright green so it looks legit. If your matcha glows like neon slime, congrats! You're probably drinking Shrek dust. Now, I'm not saying don't drink matcha. Matcha is cool, it's got real history, cultural roots, and health benefits when done right. But if you're buying it from a drive-thru and it tastes like vanilla cake batter, that's not wellness. That's a milkshake in cosplay. The sad part is, we took something that was about mindfulness and presence, a literal tea ceremony that taught people patience and calm, and we turned it into a sugar rush with whipped cream. That's not Zen, that's Zoom energy. So here's the deal. If you want to drink matcha, go for the real deal. Use ceremonial-grade matcha, whisk it in hot water, maybe add a splash of milk if you want. But skip the syrups, let it taste like tea, not like a green cupcake. Because real matcha doesn't need to be trendy. It was perfect long before influencers started hashtagging it. Number 1. Turmeric, the golden child of overhype. Alright, it's time for the golden one, the queen of wellness, the spice that went from your grandma's kitchen to every influencer's morning routine. Turmeric. You've seen it everywhere. Turmeric lattes, turmeric face masks, turmeric capsules, turmeric toothpaste. At this point, I'm just waiting for turmeric Wi-Fi routers because apparently it can fix everything. So how did a humble kitchen spice from South Asia become a $300 million global wellness trend? Well, let's just say, Western marketing discovered what Indian grandmas already knew, and then sprinkled in a bit of exaggeration. Traditionally, turmeric's been used for centuries in Ayurvedic and Southeast Asian medicine, not as a superfood, but as a natural remedy for inflammation, digestion, and skin health. It's also just part of daily cooking. Like, no one in India's out here saying, I drink golden milk to align my chakras. They're like, no dude, it's just haldi dude. My mom made me drink it when I had a cough. But somewhere around 2016, Western wellness culture went full gold rush. Turmeric became the new kale. Brands started selling detox turmeric shots, anti-aging turmeric serums, turmeric-infused yoga mats. Okay, maybe not that last one, but give it time. The magical ingredient behind all this hype is curcumin, a compound found in turmeric that's been shown to have antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects. Sounds amazing, right? There's just one small, tiny, microscopic problem. Your body can barely absorb it. Yeah, curcumin makes up only about 3 to 8% of turmeric, and even that little bit, your digestive system basically says, cool color, bro, and flushes it out. That's why scientists studying turmeric don't use the spice itself. They use concentrated curcumin extracts combined with things like piperine, that's the stuff in black pepper, or fats to help absorption. Without those, drinking turmeric milk is kind of like trying to text without Wi-Fi. It feels productive, but nothing's really going through. Now, I know someone's already typing in the comments, but it helped my joint pain. And honestly, that might be true. Some small studies show turmeric supplements can help with mild inflammation or arthritis symptoms, but might help and miracle cure are two very different things. A lot of the flashy claims, turmeric cures cancer, turmeric heals your liver, turmeric will make your ex come back, come from early stage or animal studies. There's still no strong, large-scale evidence that it works miracles in humans. And don't even get me started on detox turmeric teas. If I see one more influencer pouring neon yellow water and calling it a cleanse, I'm gonna need a cleanse from them. Your liver and kidneys detox your body just fine. Turmeric doesn't have a VIP pass to your bloodstream. Also, fun fact, turmeric stains everything. Your cup, your counter, your white shirt, your soul. People out here turning their kitchens into CSI crime scenes in the name of wellness. Now, don't get me wrong, turmeric's not bad. It's flavorful, it's natural, it's been used for centuries for a reason. It adds warmth, color, and some light health benefits. But it's not a golden ticket to immortality. If you like it, use it in your food. Cook with it. Mix it with pepper or healthy fats to get more out of it. But if you're chugging 3 golden lattes a day hoping to glow from within, honey, that glow's just the spice. Turmeric's amazing. It's just not magic. And that's okay. Not every ingredient has to save your life. Some can just make your curry taste awesome. So yeah, turmeric deserves love, just not sainthood. So yeah, that's the truth, guys. Most so-called superfoods, just regular foods with really good PR. There's no magic berry, no miracle oil, no golden powder that's gonna fix your life overnight. Real health doesn't come from hype, it comes from balance. Eat real food. Sleep, move your body, drink water, touch grass sometimes. And the next time someone tells you their smoothie can detox your soul, just smile and say, cool, my liver already has that covered. If you liked this one, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which superfood you used to worship. All right, stay skeptical, stay smart, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.